Right, let's talk about the -1 factor. So, think about this question for a second. What are the factors of 3? Well, sort of straightforward. If I think about the list of it, I know 1 is a factor. I know 3 is a factor. So I'm going to go with 1 and 3. But are there any more factors of 3? Well, if I think about this carefully, I could get to 3 by multiplying -1 and -3 together. Two numbers that multiply together are factors of that number. So I would say that actually -1 and -3 are also factors. Now this idea becomes handy for questions like this one, because I can use this -1 as a factor to help me simplify some things that on the surface might look a bit complicated. Let's see what I mean. I'm going to take this top section, the 3 minus 2x, and I'm going to actually use -1 as a factor. Okay, so I'm going to pull -1 outside the brackets, and inside the brackets I'm going to put the things that will get me back to 3 minus 2x. So -1 times something gives me 3. Well, in this case I know -1 times -3, if I multiply them together I get that. -1 times something gives me -2x. Well, if this was a positive 2x, I'll get -2x when I multiply it by -1. So I've taken this and now I've written it as a factor with -1. This is what I've got in the brackets. Doesn't matter what order I add things in, so I can swap the order around. So I'm going to put the x in front and I end up with 2x minus 3. I'm now going to take this and I'm going to replace it with this. Okay, I'm going to take the top away because I've shown that this top section is the same thing as this. So if I put that on top, now interestingly I notice I've got a common factor. The 2x minus 3 on the top and the 2x minus 3 on the bottom, which means I can cancel them out. And I know then that when I cancel anything on the bottom, it doesn't become 0, remember? That becomes 1. So now I've got -1 over 1, which is -1. I've simplified that using this awesome technique of the -1 factor.